Sup, Nerdmigos, and the Jive Talking Nerd, John Norgrove. We've got Wife here. We're here for another review Jive. Yesterday was Terrible Movie Tuesday. We watched this movie today. It's not important. Anywho, we watched 2018's The Vanishing, which is like a psychological drama starring Gerard Butler and Connor Swindells and Peter Mullan. Peter Mullan's the old guy. Peter Mullan and Gerard Butler and Connor Swindells fucking kick ass in this movie.
Yeah,
they do such a good damn job. So, spoiler-free review, no spoilers, spoiler-free review, go watch this fucking movie. It's available for free on Amazon Prime, that's where we watched it.
Yeah, this is actually not a terrible movie.
Yeah.
It's about...
Listen, real surprising. We're not going to get into what it's about until we get the spoilers, but very surprisingly a good movie.
Dudes at a lighthouse.
It's about lighthouse stuff. This is a fantastic movie. Go watch it. So, now that we're done with that, spoiler-full plot summary of this movie. So, very quickly, the plot of this movie is functionally... plot summary. So, the plot summary of this movie is fairly straightforward. 3 Scottish dudes go to an isolated island that has a lighthouse on it, because that's their job.
They're lighthouse keepers.
They're lighthouse keepers, sort of. Yeah. And when they get there, come to find out there's like a dead dude, and like a life raft, and like a wooden box. And so they're like, oh shit, we gotta do something. So they send the young kid down because the old man's got like a bum something, leg, hip, whatever.
Maybe? We don't know.
So they send the kid down to go get the
check
body
on this body.
And the guy wakes up and tries to murder, and is just like attacking the kid. And so the kid just like rocks the motherfucker, and he's out. He's dead now. So the kid murdered that guy. And they're like, what are we gonna do? And of course, the old guy, right? What's his Thomas? Thomas is like, we'll bury him at sea. Don't worry about it. We just gotta like report all this shit.
Yeah.
And of course, the kid is like, somebody's box, and Gerard Butler's like, somebody's box.
Yeah.
And Thomas is like, don't touch the box.
That lifeboat had cargo.
Yeah. So he's like, don't touch the box. They open the box, there's gold in this box, they're like, this is dope, we should do something about it. Some other motherfuckers show up.
Well, no, before that, they open the box, they're like, the kid and Gerard Butler are like, oh, how am I going to spend this money? And the old man is like, someone is going to come looking for this money, don't be doing this.
Yeah, like, just don't do that shit.
Yeah, don't
do that. So, of course somebody comes for the money. Like, literally the next fucking scene, right? This boat shows up, and Thomas, the old guy, is like, fucking stay here and shut up and don't move. And he's like, hey, boat guys, what's up? And they're like, hey, man, we're looking for, like, a buddy of ours. He got life rafted and, like, sailed, and, like, maybe he crashed here. And the guy's like, yeah, we found your buddy. He's super dead, man. And they're like, oh, fuck. And he's just like, yeah. And they're like, what about the stuff that he had with him? And he's like, it's policy. We radioed the fucking thing. They came and picked it up, like, 3 hours ago. And they're like, oh, shit. Okay, man, like, can we see some stuff? And he's like, nah, we're super busy right here doing lighthouse stuff. And they're like, gangster. And so they leave. And he's like, oh, okay, we're free and clear. And then, of course, they immediately come back under cover of darkness and assault everybody, hold them hostage.
Yep.
So the old man and the kid are held hostage, and Gerard Butler was, like, hit in the head with a fucking thing, and he's being held hostage. And we get the, like, threatening, everybody's looking around at each other scene. Whatever. So the kid breaks free from whatever the fuck and, like, ties a rope around one of their captors' heads. It has, like, knots on it, and just, like, tightens that shit until it crushes that motherfucker's head.
That was Gerard Butler.
No. Gerard Butler choked that motherfucker out on the ground.
No, he did the turn thing for sure. I watched it. Because he was doing it earlier. There's some wicked foreshadowing. Gerard
Butler also choked a dude out on the ground, because he's the one that choked him out on the ground. Probably just with the turning thing, because they have ropes and turning.
Yeah.
Those two guys are dead now, so they decide, all right, hey, we're cool. We're going to bury some shit at sea, right? So they're talking about what they're going to do about these fucking corpses they got.
How they're going to, like, cover everything up.
And out of the window, there's, like, some motherfucker looking at them. So they're like, let's chase this dude down. So they chase this dude down. It's obviously, like, the middle of the fucking night. Gerard Butler has, like, a stick with a hook on it. I don't know. It's a fucking hook stick.
Yeah.
He hook sticks this motherfucker in the neck. That's a kid. A kid they know, like a doc kid that they know.
Yeah.
So he's dead. Gerard Butler goes real crazy.
Off the
heavy
deep
crazy,
end.
right? He doesn't want to say anything. They get up the next morning, and he's like staring forward, just like violently chopping like root vegetables and shit. He's super crazy.
It's insane, dude.
So they're like, all right, we got to deal with this shit. And of course the kid's like, fuck Gerard Butler, let's get out of here. And Thomas, the old man, is like, none of this shit, we're all friends here. So that shit doesn't work out. At some point in time, like, during Gerard Butler's crazy, he starts acting less crazy, and they're like, everybody's good. And the old man's like, let me go get some whiskey, let's celebrate. And Gerard Butler's like, that's a good idea. So he goes to get some whiskey, and Gerard Butler's at the door, and it's just like, that was a bad idea. And locks that fucking door, and then chokes that kid the fuck out. We don't see him get choked the fuck out, but like you hear him,
but it
like
happens
struggling
immediately after Gerard Butler walks in on the kid telling the old man.
Oh yeah, he's just like, we should abandon Gerard Butler.
And the old man is like, no, and the kid's like, come on.
Yeah, he's like, look how crazy he is, and the old man's like, no, we are in this together. And the kid's like, and then Gerard Butler walks in, and he's like, which didn't help. So Gerard Butler murders the kid, and then the old man's like, all right, it's cool, we're gonna take care of this, everything's cool, I have a plan, because the lesson in this movie is that this old man had a plan, and nobody stuck to the plan. Always stick to the fucking plan.
Really, the lesson in this movie is your actions have consequences.
But that's not really a lesson insofar as that's like physics, right? I mean, like, if you do a thing, things are gonna happen. You shouldn't have to learn that you're a fucking adult.
Of your actions in this movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, damn. So they go out to the ocean, right, to bury the kid at sea, and the old man is like, you weren't that bad, I guess, and then buries him at sea. And then Gerard Butler's like, you gotta do me next. And the old man's like, no, we need to stick together. We have a plan. And Gerard Butler's like, no.
He's like, Gerard Butler is like, I'm not gonna be able to follow that plan, and then just climbs into the ocean.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm just gonna get down into this ice cold ass Scottish water. And he gets down to the ocean, and the old man's like, what is this? What are we gonna do with this? And Gerard Butler's like, you gotta hold me down, because I'm not gonna, like, you gotta help me here. So the old man holds Gerard Butler's head down for a couple of blubs, and then Gerard Butler's dead, and the old man is just standing on this boat, just ruined as a person, because of all the shit that's just happened.
Especially because
and the camera just pulls long, slow pull away.
Yeah.
Credits. Just like,
that's it.
This is what happened.
Yeah.
So this is like vaguely, there's some shit at the beginning, like some, white text on a black screen kind of shit at the beginning of the movie that talks about like this being vaguely based on a true story because there was an island and there were 3 light keepers and they disappeared and nobody knows what happened. So we're guessing that this happened. I fucking guess. I mean, listen, this is basically the plot of a video game. We watched the Super Beer Bros play, the Scary Game Squad Bros play, like several months ago.
Apparently,
so I don't know what that's all about.
Lighthouses are like super big right now because there's a bunch
lighthouses.
of lighthouses.
They're so big right now. But who really knows why this movie exists? But that's the plot.
It exists, and this was actually quite interesting.
This was a good movie. So plot summary over. Pros, cons of this movie. So pros of this movie, literally 100% of the acting, 100% of the time. Gerard Butler plays like a very disturbed person, scary good. He is fucking nightmare disturbed in this movie. Really good. Obviously, Thomas, the old man, is just like trying. He's just like, guys, we can fix this. It'll be okay. And they're like, that's a good idea. But what if we do nothing you suggest at all every single time? The cons of this movie, there's not really any cons that I can think of. It's like a very pretty movie. It's a very, it's a very dramatic movie. It's a very intense, it's a tense movie to watch this shit unfold. Like, it's a good movie. You know? I really can't think of any particular cons. Oh, I know a con. I don't know what year it is in this movie. I have no doubt that they said at the beginning of the movie or something, but the whole time, I was like, I don't really know what time it is. But another pro, we did find out what the whole connection between lighthouses and Mercury are. They use Mercury to float the Fresnel lens assembly to help relieve pressure on the rollers so it can spin easier. I never knew that. So I learned that tonight.
I did learn that.
Not in the movie. That was, I researched it. They showed them fucking with Mercury in the movie.
And there was a throwaway line.
Yeah, there was a throwaway line about it or whatever, and then you were like, oh yeah, there's all this thing about this, but I don't get it. And I was like, I don't really get it either. I've never looked it up. So I looked it up, and that's why you've learned a lesson. Pros, cons.
So, pros, this movie was well acted and it was beautiful, and I really love Gerard Butler being crazy. Like, his mind just breaks.
Yeah.
And it was funny because at one point we're watching him and he's just like going nuts and everybody's just like,
yeah.
And he, I was just like, oh, he was in a bunch of rom-coms, wasn't he?
Yeah. Remember young rom-com Gerard Butler?
Yeah.
Before he was like hot action star Gerard Butler, and now he's just like crazy old man Gerard Butler, and I'm pretty fucking okay with that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
What a hell of a career.
Another big pro that I had was, there's a very few people in this movie. There's only like 6 actors in this entire movie.
I mean, the opening scene has like a wife and a kid and like a town and shit, but that scene doesn't count.
But like
most of it, remember it.
Yeah, most of it is just like very few actors, and it's done really well.
Yeah.
Cons, I don't really have any cons.
Yeah. Oh, the sound design was also fantastic in this.
Yeah, it was.
The dog really also doesn't die.
Oh yeah, there is a dog. It does not die.
It might have got left on the island. Maybe con.
Well, we don't know that the old man went back.
We don't know that.
He's not going to leave the dog.
No, I just assumed that he would like die in the ocean, but yeah, we don't know that. Because remember, three lighthouse people disappeared in the legend of some fucking place on an island near Scotland.
Yeah, so,
I don't know. Whatever. He's not dead at the end of the movie, so the dog's not dead, and that's not that bad. Probably.
So, best bits.
So, best bits of this movie. I think maybe the best bit of this movie. I think the best bit of this movie is like one particular scene where Gerard Butler, it starts with just him, and he's just like violently chopping carrots or fucking rutabagas or some nonsense like that. And then like the camera pulls back and you just see him looking like dead forward, not at all paying attention to what he's doing with his hands, right? And then like the camera kind of pulls back a little bit more and it shows the kid sitting at the table, and like the old man walks in and is like, hey, is everything all right, man? And he's just like, I took care of it, dude. Just like you wanted, took care of it. And he's like, oh, and he looks over at the kid, and the kid's just like, nigga, we gotta talk about this. Like, no, this guy's going crazy. And this kid is like fully like, please just understand that this isn't okay. And then he's like, everything's fine. And this old man's just trying to calm people down. And this kid is scared, and Gerard Butler is acting crazy. It's such a good scene. It really shows how insane Gerard Butler was. To me, that's the best bit. Is Gerard Butler peak crazy in like whatever top of Act 3 in this movie, whatever mid-act.
I feel like I have a lot of best bits, but I'm gonna go through this real fast. So like, I really like the foreshadowing in this too.
No, I'm just kidding.
And, shut up. I really like the foreshadowing in the beginning. There's the birds, and then the line about like many a lighthouse keeper has gone insane because of the mercury, and I think that segued really well into Gerard Butler just like totally losing his mind, which may or may not have been affected by mercury poisoning. We don't know. Yeah. So that is like that's like a long bit, but that's definitely one of the best bits for me. Although my favorite bit is the killing of the captor guy, where he's just twisting the rope. He just has like a fork and he's just twisting a rope around this guy's head until the guy's skull cracks and he dies. Yeah. It is brutal.
Yeah, and it wasn't like gory or bloody or anything like that, but it was that scene where it's like it's like a tight camera shot to the face, and you can just hear the like rope straining and the bones starting to give way. It was like a really intense scene, you know? It was good. It was
But that was a really inventive death, and I super enjoyed that.
Yeah. So ratings. Let's go to ratings. I'm gonna give this 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I would also give this 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I kind of wanted more, but I really can't say how I wanted more, but I know I wanted more.
Yeah. I want more moody lighthouse movies.
Yeah, that's fair. More moody lighthouse movies. So, either way, I have been John Norgrove. This has been Wife. This has been Review Jive. It's Terrible Movie Tuesday or something to that extent. We watched The
Vanishing.
The Vanishing, which is a 2018 movie. It's available on Amazon Prime. And, don't forget to like this video, comment below, share, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. Totally forgot to mention that at the top. So we'll catch you guys next time, yeah?
Yeah.